Hi, this is a foreigner in the Philippines. In on the subject of how foreigners and Filipinos will actually interact, will have a happy union. One of the biggest causes of misunderstandings is the ability to understand the word context. And context is a word that is understood, but only at a very, very superficial level. The fact is that most people, whenever they have a disagreement, it's usually because they take things out of context. Let me give you a fun example. Supposing two guys who don't think any more than the next beer, and they're sitting on the sidewalk and they're having their beer. They're not going to be worried about anything because they've got one extra beer to go before they run out and have to take some empties in to get a little bit more money to get the next beer. So they're talking about cars. Now, these are homeless, penniless drunks, and they're talking about cars. One guy is saying, well, the car of my choice would be a Ferrari. And his friend says, nah, now Lamborghini is the car. And the first guy says, are you kidding me? I wouldn't be caught dead in a Lamborghini. And a wealthy man is passing them at the time. And the wealthy man, who may well be able to afford either a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, hears them talking. And he says, you two are stupid. How can you ever think about whether you could decide to have a Lamborghini or a Ferrari? And having told them off like that, he walks off. Now, is the rich guy the savvy one here? I don't think so, because he's taken what he overheard as a conversation completely out of context. Do you think that the two drunks are talking in any real context, any real chance of having a Ferrari or a Lamborghini which cost $500,000? No, they're talking in the context of we're two drunks hoping for the next beer, and we're just having a conversation which is totally meaningless about whether we like this car or that. That's the context. What was the context that the rich man took it in? His context was, I can afford a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, and I wouldn't want either. Are the two contexts the same? No, they're millions of miles apart. Now, in real life, if a husband talks to a wife, and in the case of a Filipina whose first language is not English, who has done her very best to speak English, and certainly gives the apparency of knowing exactly what she's talking about, if he asks her, have you done the messaging that I asked you to do? Did you make that message to the phone company? She will say, yes, I did. Now, he takes it that is in the context of past tense. In other words, if the wife has said, yes, I did, it means that it's a done deal. That's the context. It's past. It's happened. He can rely on that. Now, the wife, on the other hand, doesn't have a great appreciation or knowledge of past, present, and future. For her, she is talking in the context of it is her intention, as soon as she leaves her husband, to go into the office and make the call. That's her context. So one is speaking in the context of the past tense, and the other, unknowingly, is speaking in the context of future tense, what she intends to do. Now, because she is definitely going to do that, because she absolutely has it as the next thing on her list to do, and will do it, as far as she's concerned, it's a done deal. Are the two contexts the same? No, they're not. One is in the belief that it's already happened. The other is in the belief that it's as good as a done deal. And that is often the source or basis of disagreements within a Filipino-foreigner relationship. And that is that one thinks there is a level of understanding that actually doesn't exist. So he always assumes that this is so. She assumes that it will be so. And the two, until they get this sorted out, will not gel together. This will not be a union which is a happy one, because they're both thinking in different contexts. It's important that you find out what the actual context is of what the person is talking about. Is the homeless man really talking about whether he would have a Ferrari or a Lamborghini? No, because if he was talking real life, he'd take the Lamborghini, take it down, or the Ferrari, and he would take either if he was given it, and he would take it down, sell it, and buy 55,000 tons of beer. That's what would happen. So context is all important. Make sure that when you are relating, not just Filipino to foreigner, to anyone, make sure that you understand what is the context that they're talking in. Because if you don't know what that context is, you're actually having a conversation with someone else other than the person in front of you. My wife often confuses he with she. And unless I say, wait a minute, is that he or she, I won't know what I'm talking about, what I'm listening to. I have to make sure that I'm listening to something in the context of he, not she. The other thing is that a Filipino will tend to say yes to everything. So if you say, that person shouldn't have done that, should he? The Filipino will say yes. So then you have to say, do you mean yes, he should have done it, or no, he shouldn't? And then, in the case of my wife, she'll say, no, he shouldn't. But I have to clear that. And I am aware of the differences in how context can get mixed up. And it's an important lesson to learn if you are speaking to someone whose first language is not yours, whose first language is not yours, not whether they're speaking in Filipino, in Dutch, in German, in whatever language. You make sure that you're in the right context. This is, in America, they call this being on the same page, and that works too. So, that's my blurb for today.
Yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.